Bible truth, line by line, in context, 5-minute lessons. Let's go. Welcome to Bible Bites. All right, guys, the 5-minute lesson starts now. All right, guys, what's going on? So last time we left off with Romans 3:10, and Paul showed the Jews that whatever glory that the Jewish nation thought they were bringing to God, it was actually a false glory and a false identity as favored by God. Okay, so we're going to keep going with Romans 3:11. Now, Paul continues to hammer this theme, this point home, that there is none that understandeth. Now go back to Romans 2:20, and we saw that Jews saw themselves as teachers and instructors in the moral laws of God. They even had a form of the knowledge and truth possessed within the law. But again, Paul says they have no understanding of that truth. They just have it and act upon it without comprehending the intent behind it. Neither do the Gentiles. That's from Romans 1. So we see here in Romans 3:11 that they also do not seek for God. Now, remember, Romans 2:7 says, to those who seek for God's glory, honor, and immortality through well-doing, eternal life. But only God can judge in righteousness, and all must receive salvation, Romans 1:16. Also, remember in Romans 2:20, it told us too that Jews have a form of knowledge and truth through the law. But a form is specifically saying they don't have the truth itself. So if we know by context the truth, that truth is the truth of God from God, how can they, the Jews, make thy boast of God? They don't know the truth about him. See, this indicates, right, that truth is not knowledge or facts about something. Romans 2:18 doesn't say they think they know his will. It says they know thy will and even approve of the most excellent knowledge found within the law. The Jews know his will. They have the facts and figures. What they're lacking, though, is truth. That's interesting. Okay? Romans 3:12. Paul continues this claim that all are under sin, and he goes back to paraphrasing Psalm 14. Now, God says all have gone out of the way. They left the ways of God, right? And together as a whole, they have become unprofitable. Now, unprofitable is useless, worthless. Doesn't that sound like vanity, our vain thoughts, right? So as a whole, the corporate nation of Israel has become unprofitable and they have gone out of the way. Remember, we talked about leaving God's land, that was blasphemed, that was mocked by the Gentiles because the Jews left God's land, showing that God wasn't enough to satisfy them, okay? So now they're unprofitable, meaning Romans 2:7 is showing that no man has achieved eternal life through patient continuance and well-doing, which aligns right with the law, how to do well-doing, how to do it, not bringing salvation to the Jews. So the law shows us how to do well-doing, but it doesn't bring salvation. It didn't bring it to the Jews and it didn't bring it to anyone else. And then also in Romans 2:12, inversely, you see that there's support for doing the will of God through law being both the only hope and an utter impossibility for mankind. Why? Because Romans 1:28 told us that no man likes to keep or retain the knowledge of God in their mind. In Romans 3:13, Paul states that their throats are an open sepulcher. Now, a sepulcher is a grave, right? So Paul is saying that their throat, their voices, what they speak, are speaking nothing but death. Now check this out, context check. Remember, Romans 1:16 says the gospel of Christ is the power of God for salvation, and gospel is a message. Now, remember, Romans 1:32 says God's judgment for not believing his truth, his message, is death. And then Romans 1:19 through 26 support that by showing that we change the truth of God into a lie. And that shifts our faith toward dead imaginations and vile actions. So Paul is showing how man, no matter the nationality, speaks death into the world without the real truth of God leading their hearts, their thoughts, and their tongue. Let's go. Guys, This is awesome. Oh man, so the truth is just coming out now, and we're just going to follow this logic train that God has given to us. We're not going to interpret. We're just going to read what he's telling us and let it unfold so we can cut through the noise, guys. We're searching for obedience, and we're going to find it. I'm going to find it with you. You're going to find it with me. This is Bible Bites, and I'm out. Talk to you next time.